This conversation delves into one of the most sensitive and critical topics of generational parenting. The neglect that many children of the 80s, like the 1980s and the early 1990s, endured, is an uncomfortable truth that parents in those times often kind of overwhelmed by the pressures of making ends meet or climbing the socio-economic ladder, inadvertently left their children vulnerable to harm. These children were frequently entrusted to the care of extended family members, friends, or hired help, or individuals who, in some cases, betrayed that trust and inflicted emotional, psychological, and sometimes physical harm. And then the impacts of this experience are profound and long-lasting. For many of these children, now adults, right, the wounds linger as feelings of inadequacy, trust issues, and broken self-esteem. Some have remained silent, unable to articulate the trauma they endured, while others struggle to reconcile their past with the present. For the parents of that era, the topic is often a taboo, shrouded in guilt, denial, or avoidance. Yet, addressing this dark chapter is crucial, not just for healing, but for ensuring that it does not reoccur, And to fully grasp the depth of this issue, we also need to acknowledge societal pressures that contributed to it. Bless you, baby. Many families lived in economics where both parents had to work long hours, often multiple jobs, to provide basic amenities. Childcare options were limited, and extended family structures were commonly relied upon to fill the gap. However, these well-intentioned systems often failed, leaving children in unsafe environments, where their voices were stifled and their experience invalidated. The question now is, what lessons have we learned? And how do we, as modern parents, ensure that history does not repeat itself? Reflecting on the past, firstly, it is very, very important and essential to acknowledge the pain and validate the experience of those who suffered this fate. For many, healing begins with being heard. But then, it's the parents also from that generation who may have unknowingly placed their children in harm's way need to open and have honest conversation, offering apologies where necessary. Silence only perpetuates the cycle of shame and repression, preventing the affected individuals from moving forward. Another thing again is building a safer future. To my today's parents, the parents of this generation. Today's parents need to have a unique opportunity to rewrite the narrative. Here is how. You need to ask me. 1, you need to prioritize emotional safety. Emotional neglect can be just as damaging as physical harm. Parents must foster environments where children feel loved, valued, and safe to express themselves. This means actively listening, being present, and validating their feelings. 2, careful trusts in childcare. Modern parents must be deliberate about who they entrust their children to. Background checks, open communication, and setting boundaries with caregivers are critical. Very, very important. Parents should teach their children to recognize inappropriate behavior and feel empowered to report it without fear of retribution. And then I think the third thing is balancing work and family. A lot of people don't know how to do this. While financial stability is important, it should not come at the cost of a child's well-being. Finding a balance between work and family life is essential, we all know. Whether that means working fewer hours, utilizing parental leave, or making sacrifices to spend quality time with children. The fourth one is education and awareness. Parents need to educate themselves and their children about topics like personal boundaries, body autonomy, and the importance of speaking up. Really. Schools and communities can play a role also by offering programs and programs that empower children to protect themselves. Another option is support system. No parent can do it alone. Building and maintaining a strong network of trusted friends and family and community resources can provide the support needed to navigate the challenges of parenting. We all know parenting is hard. So we need one another, but we need trusted people. Breaking the silence is another option. Conversation like this need to happen more often in homes, schools, and public forums. Acknowledging past mistakes creates rooms for growth and ensure that the mistakes of one generation become lesson for the next one. To the parents of today, ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave my children with? The responsibility lies with us to ensure that the cycle of neglect, abuse, and trauma are broken. We have the tools, the resources, and the awareness to do better. Let us create a generation that feels seen, heard, and deeply loved. A generation that thrives because we took the time to learn from the past, and we are also committed to doing it better. Well, this isn't just about parenting. It's also about creating a society where every child feels safe and valued. You know, let's not avoid this conversation. Let's lead it. Let's have it. Let's sensitize one another. Let's do better. Are you going to do better? Are you sure you're not going to let the love of money come between you and raising your children in a very safe, secured environment? Thank you.